Hey guys, this is Victoria back with another review of VH1 Couples Retreat, Season 1, Episode 4, called Miss Sixth Sense. So we start off with what they've been doing for the past few episodes of, the couples get together one on one in a nice scene to ask each other questions. This time it was actually a pretty funny question. It was, what is one piece of clothing of mine that you would burn and why? So, all the couples go through answering. So it was cute. It's a little cute scene. We'll move forward, move on because there's nothing else to say about that. So then we get the scene with Yandy and Mendices, chilling by the pool. Mendices was talking to the kids, and I guess Amir had his report card, and Yandy mentions, "Oh, look at all those threes." So I guess I could. I mean, it's been a long time ago since I was in elementary school, but I guess they go by numbers, not letters. So I guess three is good. Don't know. But that was a cute scene. They're talking, chilling. Yandy says, "Oh, I want this Mendices when we go back home." And it's probably not going to happen because, let's be honest, you're on a retreat. So, when you don't have the workload and reality, you know, with you, then you can have vacation, you can spend as much time as you want. But once you get back to the real world, it's like vacation's over, back to the real world. So I mean, I guess hopefully he gets better. I really don't see that happening. So good luck Andy with that. But Mendices is just gonna be Mendices. He's gonna do whatever he wants. He's still gonna be his regular self from when you guys was still back home. I mean, hopefully he becomes more romantic. I hope and wish the best for you on that, but he's Mendices is Mendices. I don't know what else to say about that. So, and they also mentioned she also mentioned for him, to get in the pool. So, he does like the slowest slide into the pool, he's like not feeling the pool. I guess he's afraid of the pool, which to me confuses me because it's, actually, side note, hood dudes confuse me. Y'all, steady every day putting your life on the line out in these streets, but yet they'll be scared of the simplest thing like water. Like, granted, I could understand being afraid of the pool, I guess, with the what is it called? The little hole in the side of the pool thing, to filter the water. I don't know, something like that. You know what I'm trying to say. So I could understand that. And I could understand like when, people are afraid of the beach because of the, current, because that current be strong, let me tell you. So I could understand that. But at the same time, it's like, nigga, you be out in the streets. We know your past, Mendices. So you be out in them streets, putting your life on the line. We don't know what could be going on in them streets and whose turf you know what I mean? So it's like, why the pool? You afraid of the pool though? Child, I guess. So he finally gets in the pool. He's telling Yandy, like, back up, bro. Like, don't come close, don't come close. And she's just laughing. I would have been laughing too because I'm like, nigga, it's the pool. Like, the water's to your waist. If that. Nigga. So we get to the scene with Kirk and Rashida. They're sitting outside talking. Kirk mentions some stupid stuff about he wants her to be bored and have nothing to do. And I guess Rashida just goes into how he worked her out last night, and I'm just like, ew, like who really wants to know about Kirk and Rashida's sex life? I'm just, when she mentioned that, I was like, ew. Like, I don't want to hear all this. Like, I'd rather, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not even gonna say. I was gonna say something. I'm not even gonna say that because I don't want to hear that either. But I would rather hear that before Kirk and Rashida. But I'm not even gonna say what it is because that would just disgust me just thinking about it. All right. Anyway, so whatever, they're chit chatting. Mike comes out, sits down with them. Rashida asks, "Where's Rada?" He says, "Oh, she's sleeping because he laid her out last night." But then in the confessional, he's talking about, no, he didn't really lay her out last night. Then he mentions in the confessional, I believe, in the confessional or talking with them, either or both probably, that she signed a contract, so it is what it is. He's not going to change. So why are you guys here? What's the purpose of you being here? This is what I'm talking about. This is why I said I feel like they're a failure couple, because why are you here? What's the purpose of you being here? I thought you guys were here to work things out. And if you're not here to work things out, then you all don't need to be here. It could have been 4 couples, actually 3, because Ray J and Princess, they finally starting to come around for episode 4, but they could leave too. So he said he's not gonna change, but he is gonna do a comedy show, and nobody better be sensitive, because obviously if someone's doing a comedy show, they're gonna roast everybody, especially Michael Blackson. He roasts everybody, so they need to be on, not on point, but they need to get with the program, basically. So then we get to a couple of the people doing video diaries. Ray J and Princess, states random stuff on their video diaries. Don't care. We get to Rada. She does her video diary, obviously talking about her situation with Mike, and that, he better get his shit together, because pretty much when she's gone, she's gone. Do I believe that? No, because you on this couple retreat. You said you guys broke up and you guys got back together to get on this couples retreat. So do I believe that? No, because if you really wanted to be gone, girl, you would have left. After all the BS that y'all already went through, him letting his other side chicks, because technically from the way he was talking, you a side chick too, but you probably just the main right now. But, he's letting all these other side chicks, disrespect you. So, and you still stay. So why are you talking about, oh, no, you're trying to get all, rah-rah on the camera, especially the video diary, not even the confessional, but the video diary, talking about, oh, when I'm gone, I'm gone. Bitch, you already left it once in your back. So don't talk about when you gone, when you already came back once that we know of. Also, you probably came back too because you signed a contract. Like, I want to know what this contract says. Like what Rashida said, was it a 10-year, like a 10-year contract? Like, I need to know, what is the stipulations for this contract? Because there has to be a reason she's staying. I mean, obviously we're going to find out later in the episode what the real reason is. But bitch, you signed a contract. That's why you're back, because probably what the contract is, you can't be leaving like that, or something. I don't know what it is, but you signed a contract. You still gonna come back? Talking about you, if you is when you're gone, you're gonna be no. I'm tripping over my words because I'm just annoyed. Like, stop lying to yourself. We know it's a lie. You know it's a lie. Mike knows it's a lie. Girl, next, no. So we get to lunch. Everybody goes to set out, for lunch. Rada mentions in the confessional she's not sitting next to Mike because, the way he's been acting and, doing her whatever, with the side chicks, disrespecting her. And if he keeps it up, he's going to be sitting by himself for, a longer period of time or something to that effect. I'm looking at everybody and I'm just like, bitch, all the females are sitting on this side. All the guys are sitting on this side across from their, partners. So why she was trying to make it seem like, oh, I'm personally not sitting next to, my significant other because, he needs to get himself together. He needs to get his shit together. Oh, bitch, you still sat across from him, and all the other females sat across from their significant other. So you like I said, you just talking, just to talk, girl. Like, you just talking. Anywho, so, they start talking and stuff. Like I said, I don't really be seeing people eat. They just talk. I would be eating and talking. But, that's just me. But, so Rashida, talks about, how her and Kirk, had a good night last night. That was probably the first time they had sex in a while. So, she's just like, yeah, I was finally able to get a nut out or something. I don't know what it was. But, she was gloating. Whereas Delicious was like, oh, me and Raymond still have things we need to work out. Fine, whatever. So then AJ comes with a medium named Lakara. I believe that's the name, Lakara. And Yandy in the confessional mentions, she brought Lakara, just for another, little activity. I guess Yandy's planned this whole resort or retreat. Okay, cool, whatever. I feel like Yandy's doing a lot. This family reunion, probably did the Love and Hip Hop in the past seasons of the New Yorks. So, all right, Andy, okay, girl, cool. So, anywho, Lakara, talks, does an intro, so to speak. People are not feeling it. Was it Delicious? someone else. There was another female. Was it Rashida? I don't know. A few females wasn't feeling it. Princess actually seemed, interested and intrigued. She seemed like, oh, I want to see what, goes on with this. So Lakara starts, and I guess she starts with Rashida and Kirk. Mentions, she mentions to one of the guys, okay, I see from one of the guys, someone's mother passed away, passed on, or a grandma that was a mom. So obviously the men are quiet. Then Kirk is like, my mom passed. So then she mentions, did you guys lose a child? Once again, it's quiet. Kirk says something like that. Something like that or happened. Did it happen or not? Kirk, like, you don't have to go into details. You could have just said yes. Something like that. If you lost the baby, Kirk, you lost the baby. What the hell? So anywho, he says something like that. Lakara says, well, your mother wanted me to let you know that the baby's with her. Then she turns to Rashida saying, if you ever feel like it's your fault, it wasn't your fault. The baby wasn't meant to come into this world. Okay, am I skeptical of mediums? I'm 50-50. With my religion, Christianity, I guess we're not supposed to, as a Baptist Christian, I'm Baptist. I guess we're not supposed to believe in mediums, from what my mom told me. I would have to do more research on that. So I'm 50-50. Obviously, from the way it seems, from what I've seen of mediums on shows, not in person. I haven't seen mediums in person, but what I've seen on shows, it seems like they're real, but I don't know personally because I've never dealt with a medium in person. Would I deal with a medium in person? I don't know. Probably not. So anywho, of course, Rashida's getting emotional. She starts crying. Even Kirk, looked like he shed a tear or two. A tear or two. I can never talk. Anywho, so then Princess starts crying. Ray J's across from her looking at her like, why are you crying? Because Ray J he just is a skeptic. He don't believe none of this BS. He calls it BS. We'll get into that in a moment. Rashida, keeps crying. She gets up and excuses herself. Kirk goes after her. Side note, while he's going after her, I'm just, I pay attention to the background, to the details. I wonder what type of resort is this? Because, obviously the people who don't give consent to be on camera, are blurred out. So there's the girl, I believe it's the girl, like, behind Rashida in the background, there's the girl like sitting on a bench or something. And then I guess she's seen the camera, so she got up and walked away. Or are they? I don't even know where they are, but I'm just like, what type of resort is this? Is this like a resort? Like y'all couldn't, whatchamacallit, y'all couldn't pay the money to just be on a private resort? Is it a resort or, with people, but you guys just have a private section of the resort? I don't know what it is. Because I see people, but then I don't see people. So that just confused me. That was just a random side note, thought in my head because I'm observant. So I see like random stuff. That was just a side thing. Anyway, back to, the whole situation. Kurt goes, comforts her and whatnot. And, said, just, girl, relax. It's going to be okay. I don't know what the picture was, but it looked like he was holding up the phone to her to show her something. So I don't know what that picture was, but he told her, just relax. It's okay, And she's just like, I'm sorry. Once again, when people cry, they like to say, I'm sorry. No, just cry. You don't see people who get mad saying, I'm sorry. I mean, maybe later on, depending on how mad they get and what they get mad about and how they react physically. But stop apologizing for crying. So after that whole incident with Rashida and Kirk, they come back to the table. The girls are asking, are they okay? Is Rashida okay? She says yes, she's fine. And while Kirk and Rashida was, on the side, doing what they do. Since Princess was crying, Ray J goes to comfort Princess. But once Kirk and Rashida gets back, Lakara continues her mediumism. So then she looks to Princess and says, I'm getting a lot of energy from you. Obviously, Ray J's at this point kind of like rolling his eyes like, oh, here we go. So then she asks Princess, did you lose the baby too? Princess says yes, and um, explains in the confessional. I think, and she explains. Okay, I'm not gonna keep try to remember if it was in the confessional or in person of the scene, but she mentions she mentions that in a previous relationship that she did become pregnant and she lost the baby. Then Lakara mentions that the soul of that first baby of her first pregnancy came back in her second child. So Ray J gets in there like, this is some BS. Lakara saying, it's a soul. Ray J's like, you saying that like it's factual. I mean, like I said, I can't pick no sides because I don't know if it's true or not true. I just know I ain't trying to deal with it. So then, he start making jokes. Rada and Mike and her, other few other people, I guess, start making jokes of Lakara. Lakara seems like she was low-key kind of offended that, they was making fun of her. I would too. I'm coming there to help y'all out. And I understand people are skeptical, and I'm pretty sure she deals with that, like, on a daily basis. But at the same time, like, come on, guys. Like, y'all don't gotta joke on her like that, especially in front of her face. But I guess it's better in front of someone's face than behind their back. I guess. I don't know. So then Lakara asks if she can speak with Mike and Rada in private. So Rada's just like, oh, does she want to speak to us because like we was making fun of her and stuff? And Mike's just like, oh, geez, what does she want? So, oh, and I forgot to mention when they first sat down for lunch before Lakara and AJ showed up, because I think AJ left after Lakara showed up. Mike mentions, oh, looks like Bobby Whitney came back because remember, Princess and Ray J was gone for like the whole couple episodes except for like the first episode. Like they weren't together, doing an activity since like the first episode, since like the first night. So I just thought it was funny when Mike mentioned like, oh, look at Bobby Whitney, came back, I'm still happy. And he said it like so sarcastically. Well, he looked so sarcastic when he said it. So I thought it was, just a funny little side note that he said when they everyone first came in for the lunch. So anywho, Lakara, Mike, and Rada sit down. Lakara's looking to Mike saying, I'm getting a lot of energy from you. That's the pattern I'm already seeing from her saying that twice for the two people she talked to in a row. I'm getting a lot of energy from you. Do you guys share something together? Do you guys share a baby together? And in my head, I'm just like, okay, I mean, maybe they have kids from different past relationships, whatever. So then they get quiet and they're kind of looking awkward. And I'm just like, what's this awkwardness thing about? Do you guys have a kid together or no? Like, once again, yes or no, answers. Mike mentions she's pregnant. I'm paused. I'm like, what? Rada starts laughing and looks at Mike in disbelief. Probably because, she didn't want him to mention it. Because obviously it was a secret from what he said. In my head, I'm still flabbergasted. Of course, that's when it goes to commercial, of course, for dramatic effect. So through that whole commercial, even though it was like already pre-recorded, so while I'm zooming through, so for that like 20, 30 seconds that I'm zooming through the commercials, fast forwarding through the commercials, I'm just like, this girl's pregnant. And I'm questioning it because even later on in the episode, I mean, I guess I'll just mention it now. Later on in the episode, she's drinking a glass of wine. Like, grape juice, I don't think there's no grape juice. I could give her the benefit of the doubt because technically I don't know what's in her cup, but she was drinking in a wine glass at the comedy show. And I'm kind of confused. Like, you're pregnant, but you're drinking. Granted, it was one glass, but at the same time, technically you're not even supposed to drink because, the doctors be saying they don't know what's the correct amount of alcohol, wine, you know what I mean? Like, so, but you drinking, but you pregnant. I don't care if if you didn't want people to know, you couldn't drink a glass of water. People don't gotta know your business. You could just say you being sober. or something. I don't know, but that just kind of confused me. So anywho, so commercial gets back, and I guess Lakara and me are kind of like shocked. I mean, Lakara, you asked, so you already knew something. You already felt something, a presence or whatever, and pretty much Rada confirms it in the confessional, and Rada says, that's why they came on this couples retreat to work things out because of the baby, and because when they, I guess, got called to come on the show for the couples retreat, Rada saw that as a sign that they're supposed to be together, that they're meant to be together. Sure, okay. Do I believe that BS? No. But I'm gonna go with it for you, Rada, because that's what you believe. You're pregnant. I will go with it for you. I personally don't believe that. I think you're just saying a lot of BS because you say a lot of BS in your confessionals. But let's go with that. That's because you're meant to. You got called to be on the show, because you felt like that's a sign that you guys are meant to be together, not because you're just trying to get a check because Mike couldn't do his little comedy shows because of COVID. No, but yes, oh yes, okay, yes, okay. So Lakara says there's a reason this baby is coming into your lives and whatnot, and she looks to Mike saying, but you gotta stop your BS of what you got going on. I don't know what it is, but I know you're on some BS. Mike's just saying, shaking his head like, yeah, okay. But I already know in his back of his mind, he's like, I'm going to do what I want to do. Who are you to tell me, what to do right or what to do wrong? My girl's already telling me what she want. And I'm already not doing it for her. So why am I going to do it just because you said something? So that's the vibe I'm getting from Mike. I'm trying to remember what he said. Let's see. So Mike, he was talking, seeming like, he's excited for the baby. And that's cool. I like that. I'm glad you're excited to be a father, Mike. I don't know if he has any other kids, but he seems excited for this one. So that's cool. I like that. And he tells Yandy, in the end of that scene, no more guests. And I kind of feel the same way. I mean, that's what actually makes it interesting and entertaining, these guests. But at the same time, this is I guess bring some guests. Ooh, I can't give an answer to that. I really can't. I'm gonna move on. So next scene, everyone's talking their little video diaries about the whole medium experience. Andy talks, says basic stuff. Princess talks, says basic stuff. We get to Delicious, she's still seems a little salty about the lack of intimacy with her and Raven. Mentioned something about something along the lines of, it's really less I do and more I don't. Communication. So now we get a one-on-one with AJ and Raymond. Raymond wants to know what's going on because clearly if they're having a one-on-one, someone was telling someone something that, wasn't discussed with him, that he wasn't forewarned about. Which we all know, Delicious said something that made AJ want to have a one-on-one with Raymond. So she sits down with Raymond and she mentions the discussion that happened at the Ring of Fire. So then we flash back to the Ring of Fire with Delicious and Raymond, which we did not get to see, which I'm still upset about because the producers suck. I get it. It might have not been interesting, but at the same time, if we saw all the other couples, I would have wanted to see them talk at the Ring of Fire, even if it was for like 2 minutes. Okay, y'all suck. But okay, we do the flashback. What does Delicious say? She says something. She says the passion and intimacy stopped after marriage. I guess Raymond is caught off guard with the conversation because he didn't know about it. He just walked into it. He knew AJ wanted to talk with him one-on-one, but he really didn't know what it was about. But technically, nigga, you should know what it's about. If you saying she's the alpha, intimacy is lacking, And she's been saying that. I mean, it's not that hard to guess, Raymond, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Okay, sure. Whatever. Raymond agrees, at least he can agree that the intimacy's been lacking. And why does he say that? Let me read my notes real quick. He agrees that the sex has been lacking because they're busy, blah, 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 bullshit. And then mentions we're in a pandemic. Wouldn't that make you want to have sex more? Because you can't go nowhere. You cannot be seriously blaming the pandemic, Raymond. Nigga, you know how many people popped up pregnant because of this pandemic? If anything, that should be making y'all want to have sex more. That should be making you want to create more activities, ideas. People have been very creative in this pandemic, if I do say so myself. I'm just saying that you cannot blame the pandemic for your lack of intimacy, Raymond. You listen, people's been able to do a lot with this pandemic. A lot of different sexual ideas. So you cannot blame this pandemic, because that would have made less busyness, more time to think of more spontaneous things to do. Even AJ mentioned, you need to do some spontaneity, things to do. He mentions, they're on a schedule, Delicious has OCD. So I have OCD. You think that's stopping me from doing? Like, come on, bro. I understand you guys got busy lives, but when you want to do something, you gonna do something. If you catch my drift, Raymond, come on, bro. I got faith in you. I got faith in you. Come on, Raymond. I don't want to hear that. That's just excuses at this point. No, I'm not gonna accept you're busy. I'm not gonna accept the pandemic. No, I'm not gonna accept she has OCD. I get it. She's the alpha. I get that, and you. He mentions they're trying to find common ground and whatnot. Okay, I can get that. I can understand that. But at the same time, Raymond, you gotta do your part too, bro. First off, y'all need to communicate about this. You talking to AJ, Delicious talking to the girls, and AJ, even though AJ's the girl. But you know what I'm trying to say? Because the girls are part of the retreat. AJ's the life coach, so she's like the head honcho of the retreat, kind of, sort of sense. So I'm not including her with the girls because the girls are the female of the couples. So, all right. Anywho, she mentions spontaneity, and Raymond says, he's frustrated. He doesn't know what to do. You know what to do. You might not want to do it, Raymond, but you know what to do. You're not stupid. I know you're not stupid, Raymond. You know what to do. So, anywho, moving on, we get to the comedy show. And pretty much from what it seems, no one wants to get roasted. Everyone's talking about, I don't want Michael to roast me. Rada mentions, I think this is later on, but anyways, Rada mentions, he's gonna roast everyone. This is the worst person to, get on the show or on the stage to do the comedy, because he's been here since day one, listening to everyone's personal problems. So of course he's going to use that for his merchandise, for his skit, for his comedy show. Ray J's drunk ass, because everyone's talking and it's nothing important to talk about, but Ray J's drunk ass makes a lame toast, whatever. He's drunk. Even Princess confirmed that. She says he's drunk. So then he goes to the bar talking with Kirk. I guess he looks up to Kirk as a mentor. So he mentioned something about that, because of Kirk being with Rashida for a long time, and they're still making it work with all the BS they've been through. Listen, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day, because Rashida and Kirk's relationship is just a whole lot of mess. Whatever. So Kirk, pretty much they're talking. Kirk mentions, did you ever ask her about the lingerie set? Excuse me. Ray J says, no, but should I? Kirk says, no, don't ask it right now. Wait till you guys are like in a good place before you ask that. Ray J keeps saying, no, I should ask her. No, I should ask her. No, I should ask her. So then Kirk's like, dang, I wish I would never would have brought it up. No, you know you wanted to bring it up, Kirk. Talking about, oh, I wish I would have never brought it up. No, you even said when you brought it up not to be messy, even though you was being messy. Kirk, you meant to bring it up because you wanted to see some drama. Because any drama that is not, focused on you, that you didn't like, well, even though you kind of creating it because you asked the question, you brought it back up. But any drama or entertainment that's not on focused on your relationship, you're happy. So you're trying to divert it from you. Nigga, if you was just a good husband to your wife, there would be no drama entertainment on your end of your relationship. If you was a really good husband to your wife, y'all wouldn't even be on this show. Okay? I mean, Yanni Mendici's on this show, even though I think they're pretty much a good couple. They whatever. But Kirk, sometimes you just need to stop talking, okay? Just stop talking. If you stop talking, you probably might have the best relationship. Like, stop talking, period. To confessional, to all these other side hoes that you be seeing. Like, just stop talking, okay? So, Ray J keeps saying, I'm gonna ask her. Kirk just gets to the point, no, just don't ask her, bro. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Then, since Ray J's drunk, now he's starting to say all these random stuff, talking about, I think someone's trying to get at Princess. Princess told me if, no matter what happens, she would always want to continue to procreate with me because she wants to have kids by only one guy, talking about she wants to take and freeze my eggs. Me and Kirk were looking at him at the same way. Even Kirk said in the confessional, he has to talk with Ray J because he has to explain men don't have eggs, they have sperm, which for once Kirk is correct. Ray J, you just drunk right now. I don't know if you're trying to say sperm, but Ray J, you just go sit down. And of course, even after that conversation, Ray J goes makes another toast, just talking yappity yap. Ray J, go sit down. Even Princess was looking at him like, I don't know what he's talking about. He's just saying all this certain stuff like, we need to keep our girls, some to those effects. Who cares? Ray J just talking out his ass. Go sit down, Ray J. Even Yandy was like, okay, Ray J, thank you. So then, Mike comes out, do his little comedy skit, going after everyone. I think the only person I don't remember him talking about was his girl Rada. I mean, she's already a joke because she's still with this guy after this whole debacle. But, she's pregnant right now, even though she's drinking a glass of wine at the comedy show. But, neither here nor there. So he does this comedy skit. I forgot what he said, but Ray J... Oh, no, he was talking about Flavor Flav because he was on talking about Delicious and Raymond, saying that Flavor Flav's so ugly, he makes Mike looks cute. So then Ray J, tries to say a slick comment talking about, oh, y'all look alike. So then, of course, that gives Mike ammo to get on Ray J talking about, oh, did you have sex yet, nigga? So I'm surprised Ray J took that well. He was laughing. I think it's only because he was drunk. I think if Ray J was sober, which is sad to say, I think if Ray J was sober, he would feel some type of way. But I guess since he was drunk, he was loose. He just laughed about it, just, moved on. Okay, cool. All right. It seems like a nice little comedy show. Everybody's laughing. Everybody's in a good mood and whatnot. Cool. I believe that's where it ends. He tells jokes. It was funny. That's where it ends. And I guess we're just going to have to see what happens next week because that's all, folks. For episode 4, that's all I could think of to talk about. If there was anything I missed, I mean, I'm sorry. This is already 34 minutes, so I think I did a pretty good job. But anywho, we're going to see what happens next week. I'll see you next week to talk about episode 5. All right? Bye.